So yes, as the title suggested, I went and bought myself a PlayStation Vita. Now the question is why? Why would any sane, rational person buy one of these? And the answer, I suppose, is simple. Bragging rights. It's a collector's console on par with the PlayStation TV, and due to poor sales, including the PlayStation television, has become almost a joke in terms of handheld consoles. The 3DS easily outsold this by a number of units, multi-million units, and with better titles, less condensing, and just more focus on solid gameplay, the Vita didn't stand a chance. So the PlayStation Vita does differ from the PlayStation Portable, its predecessor. It reverts back to using cartridge-based games rather than discs. This does have its fair share of flaws, I'm fully aware of that. The version that I have here is the very basic black, but you can get them in various colours, including white, I believe, and some special editions. I have seen a rose gold, I think, online somewhere, unless that's a custom job, I'm not sure. So let's start with the first game that I bought for the console, Uncharted Golden Abyss. Now this game is definitely hit and miss for the most part from what I've played of it. It's essentially the first Uncharted condensed into sort of taking advantage of the touchscreen mechanics of the PlayStation Vita. I've only just started playing through the prologue and the first chapter, so it's pretty cool. It has a camera gimmick so that you take photos of certain things to collect achievements and accolades. A solid game, I would say, but I can totally see why some people would prefer to play the remaster or the re-released games either on the PlayStation 3 or the remaster for the PlayStation 4. A game I'm not too familiar with is Sly Cooper. I never played the original Sly Cooper games. I'm fully aware it's like a stealth platform game, so this is something different for me. But I figured for the price I paid for it, I'll pick it up. Third on the roster, we have Lego Batman 2. I played the hell out of this on the PlayStation 3, and I had to get it again when I realised it was released on the Vita. I've pretty much finished it. I've not finished it 100%, but I've got pretty much all the collectibles. Then we have Metal Gear Solid, the HD collection. I'm not too familiar with them. I have delved into the remaster on the Xbox 360, but I'm not too familiar with the games overall. So it'll be something interesting. It's referred to as Sons of Liberty and Snake Eater, essentially. So it's 2 games on 1 cartridge. So you guys know I love Rayman, so I had to pick up Rayman Legends. Obviously this is probably the worst port of the game you could buy because it totally relies on the motion control mechanics of Murphy. And you can sort of get away with that for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360 and Xbox One versions. The Wii U does rely on it slightly, but the Vita version is definitely the worst version of this game. But I'm a Rayman fanatic, so I had to pick it up. And finally we have Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. I played the hell out of this on the Xbox 360, so I figured why not. Now before I go any further, I think I should mention one major flaw with the PlayStation Vita. Copyright technology. This was the idea that they didn't want people using pre-owned games, so in order to reuse a pre-owned game, you have to delete the save data or delete the cartridge off the console and then reinstall it. It's a weird minor irritation, a minor inconvenience I suppose, but for the most part it seems fine and I'm able to pick up trophies. Another advantage is it has cross-play abilities with your PlayStation 3, so if you have any titles that can transfer over to the PlayStation Vita, you can play them on the go. But another reason you might want to pick this up is its remote play feature. This works with the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. What this allows you to do is not only cross-play certain games, you can essentially the PlayStation Vita becomes a television screen. This allows you to play your PlayStation 4 on the PlayStation Vita. So that's pretty cool. Another major disadvantage the PlayStation Vita has over the PlayStation Portable is battery life. You're pretty much going to drain this thing in a few hours, so you might want to keep a charger handy. But for on-the-go gaming, not a bad idea. Now one of the great things about picking up the PlayStation Vita in my opinion is that I was able to catch up on a few games that I missed out on, including exclusives and games that I sort of went back to. A game called Chrono Vault, it's like a puzzle platform game, it's sort of an adventure puzzle game. You have this like spherical ball and you sort of have to navigate it around the sort of grid. And it was a PlayStation Vita exclusive, and for a few pounds that it was here in the UK, I was able to pick that up and play that digitally. Oh yes, memory, that is something I should mention. If you want to play the PlayStation Vita, you probably will need to buy a memory card. These vary in size, but I recommend the 16 or the 32 gig for beginners, but try and get the biggest size possible on the market. You want to buy the legit one. I've seen clones and sort of copied versions out there. Also, this console is pretty good for emulation, I believe, so that's not always a bad thing. But in terms of memory and storage, you may want to go with the biggest size you can find. I mean, it depends on how many games you have. I have only a few games on here at the moment, including some classic PlayStation 1 games, the Ratchet & Clank trilogy, Chrono Vault, as I just previously mentioned. So I don't have too many games on the system yet, but if I want to build up a collection for this thing, I'm probably going to need to get more games. So yeah guys, that was my genuine thoughts on the console. This is a pretty short video, I don't want it to be too long. It's not a bad console. You know, I gave you sort of a short intro, a little bit of a retrospective, see what you guys think. As I said, being able to play certain games that I missed out on because I don't have a PlayStation 3 anymore. I had one a few years back, but I sold it, so I don't have one anymore. So the Vita sort of has a lot of cross-play overlaps. There are certain games on the PlayStation 3 I can play on the PlayStation Vita, plus the store on here. You can get a lot of classic PSP games, the PlayStation 1 classics, some indie titles. It's just a pretty good fun time all round. So yeah guys, that was my quick look at the PlayStation Vita. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. I've been Retrospective, and I'll see you next time.